And that's the winner. I don't even care about the rest of the month. That's the winner. That there has never been a whiter presenter than what Kenny attempting to talk about Soul from Philly was just poetry. Good Christ. All right, Golden Rule Day. So I'm going to lay out three of them. First hour, Odyssey.com rewind. I said it to you. You saw Greg Gard, didn't foul up 3, couple seconds to go. Michigan ties it, wins an OT. Tom Izzo, up 3, late stages, yada, yada, yada. They don't foul. Iowa ties it. They go on to lose. To me, it needs to be a suspendable offense if coaches don't foul in that spot. But that brings me to hour number 2 of this fine radio program. And Rico's not here and doesn't have a chance to defend himself, so it seems like the perfect time to slander him. I was made aware of a felony that was committed last week on this show. I mean, it's felonious. It's the type of thing you go away for 25 to life. Felonious. And it's a golden rule, and Rico violated it. And he waited till I wasn't here to do it. People, I've told you a lot of things in my 2 decades in this town. But what is one of them? That every year this time we go through this. Every year. What do I tell you? We do not pay running backs. Say it with me. We do not pay running backs. Why? Why was Rico Beard allowed to go on air and bring up fantasy factory nonsense that the Lions should go out and get Saquon Barkley? We do not pay running back. It's like at church when the priest reads something in the refrain. Well, here's my refrain. We do not pay running backs. Oh, but Saquon's. We do not pay running backs. David, I hold you personally responsible for this. You are the executive producer of this show. We do not pay. What? How was Rico allowed to go break the golden rule? Say it before you say anything else into that microphone. What is the golden rule?
We do not pay running back.
Thank you. That is another golden rule of sports, no?
I would say yes. I mean, the man had his opinion. He wanted to get Saquon in here because of the offensive line.
We do not pay running backs.
Look, I agree with you. I think that is the last position, one of the last positions to pay on your team. You beef up your line. You pay your quarterback. You get weapons, meaning receivers around him. You get linebackers, corners, safety, whatever. But a running back, yeah, I'm sorry. You just can't pay that. I don't care what your offensive line looks like.
Does it qualify as golden rule number 2 today? You must foul under 3 seconds, when you're up 3, late stages in college hoops, and it is a fireable offense. You do not pay running back. You can draft them. You do not sign them to that second deal. Let somebody else go pay Saquon. I can't believe Rico Beard went on the air and did this to this radio program last week. Disgraceful.
See, knowing and seeing and remembering what the Super Bowl was and what Pacheco and how he was drafted, where he was drafted, and the history of the running back in the Super Bowl, yeah, I think I have to go with that is a golden rule.
Okay.
You don't pay them.
Kenny Cott.
Yeah.
How did you allow that to take place on last week's show?
Apologize. That's partially on me. It's a team effort here.
What is the rule? What is the rule?
Bidets are better than toilet paper. I'm sorry.
No, that's 10-2.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. You do not pay running back.
Thank you.
Don't do it.
Is it a golden rule?
I actually really agree with this. I love that golden rule. That was my golden rule for the past several years. I just don't think drafting or paying running backs is...
Let me ask you a question. Who, of all these teams that have paid their running back, who's won a Super Bowl? Have Titans won a Super Bowl? Paid Derrick Henry all that money? How'd the Rams' Todd Gurley deal work out? It didn't. His knee imploded. All right, Dalvin Cook. Has that worked out for the Vikings?
No.
What have they won? Who? Zeke Elliott. How'd that work out paying a running back? Go ahead and tell me. We do not pay running backs. If you're a Lion fan, and I know, I've already looked at the offshore book odds of Saquon's next team, you're number 6 on the list at plus 1,200. You know who's plus 200? A moron. The Chicago Bears. A moron. I want to know as a Lions fan, because I'm disappointed in you, the people, because from what I was told, there was not a tidal wave dragging Rico out to sea. Yeah, Rico's opinion should have been snuffed out like the butt of a cigarette. And you people did not. That disappoints me. It disappoints me. And I told Cookies he should have walked out of the studio. Should have walked out. He should have shown his ass and walked out the door. I want to know if this is a golden rule that you do not violate at all costs. You do not sign a massive contract for a free agent running back. You don't do it in the NFL. I put it right up there with you must foul up 3 late stages college hoops. 248-539-9797. The Lions cannot do what Rico was suggesting. Cannot. And I don't care what team it is. David, what have I said regarding Saquon Barkley? Me. Not what the Giants will do. What have I said?
You said you don't want to pay him.
Why?
Why?
Why? Well, what's the refrain in our church?
Well, I know he has an injury history here.
Nope. Try again. Show the person next to you a sign of peace. Why? Because, and the good book said, we do not pay running backs.
We don't pay running backs, yeah.
It doesn't have to go to health, personality, running style, offensive fit, age. We do not pay running backs. What have I said to you about Jamal Williams? The only reason you consider keeping him is the locker room value. It doesn't really have a lot to do with on the field.
Correct.
I don't want to give him a contract.
All about the other stuff.
That's right. 248-539-9797. What do we have on the ticket text? What are the early returns on this golden rule?
Someone's saying, thank you, Mike. That was driving me nuts last week. You do not pay running backs, they say. Other side of that golden rule is a running back should not hold out an entire year and lose a ton of time and money. Le'Veon. Oh, my gosh. Yeah. See, that's another example, though. My team did not pay him. Why? Because you do not pay running back.
What's the cadence like when the referee, when the priest, well, a priest is a referee of a church in many ways.
At times.
He's throwing personal fouls on everyone who doesn't follow that ancient book. The point I'm making is, David, what is the real refrain? Like they read something and you're like, yeah, and whatever. This is one of those, isn't it?
Yeah, that's why we need the organ in here, because when you keep saying it, that's when the organ plays behind the preacher.
But what's an example? Like when a preacher says something, and they're like, hey, and Jesus turned a loaf of bread into an Italian sub, and then the refrain is, we love gabagool.
He says, that's a great ritual.
It's the Church of Lunch Meat. Kenny's the lead pastor. It's Mortadella Sundays. But I want to know from the people, are you willing to commit to this rule that you don't break it at any cost? I don't care who the running back is. I don't care if Saquon showed up pantsless, begging you to take him to bed and he wants to be a Lion. You don't sign him. You don't pay running backs. We don't do it. Are you willing to go that far, or is it not a golden rule? That it can be broken, that there are exceptions. For me, there are no exceptions. You can sign a B-list running back. You can draft a running back. I will even tell you that there are exceptions, that if you're a certain team at a certain point in the first round, you could take a running back. I wouldn't, but you could. But this rule, we do not you're not the team that pays Saquon. You're not the team that pays Zeke. You're not the team that pays Dalvin. I don't care if DeAndre Swift leads the league in rushing. I'm not paying him next year. It is a golden rule. Or am I being too rigid? 248-539-9797. I want to hear from the people. We'll get some of the ticket texts. We've got play a little catch up. A lot of issues while I was gone. There's a lot to do today. And don't worry, we're going to get to the baseball rules. Because while I think those rules are interesting, those rules are not going to increase viewership or fandom. I'll explain why. We'll do that in the 4 o'clock.